What is static canvas? This is a question I've been asking myself for the past 7 years. What is the central thesis of this channel that I have built? I've always seen it as a meandering, poetic exploration of digital landscapes, but I worry that it often lacks focus and clarity of voice. It's certainly not through intent. I've been thinking about this central identity for about as long as I've been alive. However, these years gone past, and indeed very definitively throughout 2023, I've found myself at the mercy of an increasingly hostile brain state, one that has made the coherence of my thoughts hard to pin down. The day job is getting to me. The apocalyptic climate seems unshakable, worn down to the bone by a fraught life, a tapestry of atrocities draped ever in front of us all, and of course, the endless, cyclical drudgery of discourse that dominates and eviscerates any attempt at a more meaningful, communal conversation about the art we as a society consume. These are the great obstacles in my work, but indeed they also form an intrinsic part of its identity. Maybe that is static canvas. Maybe that's just what my voice is, a scattered buckshot of ideas and brain sparks fitting with my personality and the way I think and the society I live in. Fractured, inconsistent, messy. This year alone I have explored the mechanical, the literary, the political, all with an intent to show you the multitudes of a world I am deeply indebted to. Taking inspiration from other video essayists on presentation and format, my favourite video from this year on Terra Nil's apolitical landscapes was built on a foundation of what I myself found appealing about the work of others. There is no boilerplate to be found within my output, and I think to a certain degree this variation works well. I certainly don't feel like I'm rote, that I'm treading familiar ground. No one is complaining that Soderbergh isn't just pumping out Ocean's 11 sequels. That variety can be a good thing, can subvert your expectations about what makes the energy of a creator sing. The downside of which, however, being that it becomes a challenge to foster a specific audience for these videos. If this is how I am to continue making them, then it's certainly something I need to consider. My most popular works are hardly representative of the sum total, and yet they are still an aspect of who I am. When people kindly talk about my work, a word that comes up time and time again is poetic. It may shock you to understand that I never intended my work to come across this way. These are just words to me. The language, a little flowery, I'll admit, but I am the son of musicians and a keen writer. This is undeniably my bread and butter. With my day job being so technical, so reliant on conveying ideas simply and crudely, that in turn informs how I approach criticism and rumination in my writing processes. It comes from a place of dissatisfaction as much as it does a love of language. But as my work ebbs and flows like the tide, new opportunities emerge on the horizon, and after all of this waffling, I have to concede that this is actually just a bog-standard update video. Moving into 2024, I have big plans for this channel. Well, medium to medium-large plans. I'm hardly Mr. Beast. Mostly focusing on changes to how I produce my videos that will allow me an easier time in making the things I want to make. Changes that will hopefully alleviate the risk of that particular brand of anguish that comes from realizing you don't have the specific 5 seconds of footage you need to really make a point zing. Changes that allow the focus to be on the words, not the presentation. I've never been one for flashy editing, mostly because I don't really have the time to do it, but I still want to make nice looking videos, and in doing things in a slightly different way, I think I can have the best of both worlds here. Expect less ambitious works, at least for the time being. Nothing topical either. I don't want to rush tired ideas out to stoke an already well-kept furnace. I still want to talk about concepts above specificities, and I have plans for several videos exploring such things in the coming months, but I also just want to talk about the things I like, as I did with my recent Dicey Dungeons video, drawing attention to cool, smaller projects in ways that are easy to digest. Here's a quick preview of some of my plans for the videos in the new year, and of course I reserve the right to change my mind if the scripts aren't working. So that secret other thing. Alongside my regular videos, I also have something in the works that will take up the whole of 2024. A project I've been manifesting in my head for some time, and in all likeliness, an extremely bad idea. It's something I'll go into more detail on in the new year, but rest assured, I think it's either going to be a real doozy or a complete burden. Time will tell. Beyond this, what I want for 2024 is to not only keep up the quality of my work, but improve on it. Looking back at what has worked and what has not, I think I need to focus on clarity of vision. Not for the channel as a whole, but on a video by video basis. My strongest output this year has been the work that was initiated by a desire to explore a very specific idea. That Terra Nil video, the anthology of megastructures and media, exploring the central non-mechanic of waiting in the longing. Those are all clear springboards that give people a baseline to work from. The meandering, the fruity monologues, the poetry, that can all come later. But my weakest work has arguably always been brought about by an inability to pin down a central idea to start with. It's good to understand your weaknesses. We learn more from failure than we do success, and that's why I always appreciate when folk tell me if something doesn't quite work. Thank you for your continued support in this thing I do, for your kind words and constructive criticisms over the years. I'm not the most social of creatures, and I know in some way that will impact channel growth, but I am enduringly appreciative of the people who invest their precious time and mental energy to engage with what I make. I only hope that I can continue to enthrall, inform, and entertain for the years to come. Happy New Year. Hi, thanks for watching. Couple of bits of housekeeping. I'm quite close to 2,000 subs now, and I'd like to do a sort of Q&A when that happens, so I'll be putting the call out once I'm over that threshold. I'm open to any and all kinds of questions, not even necessarily just about games. If you do want to support the channel, I don't have a Patreon or any kind of tip jar system in place, as I do alright with the income from my day job, but I do need help with getting my videos out there into the big wide world. I'm sure you're aware changes to the algorithm recently have buggered up a lot of our reach, so if you like something I make, please share it with your peers. I got a huge boost from a recommendation from the channel Video Games Are Bad at the beginning of this year, so thank you, Harry, for that. You've always been my strongest ally. Other than that, I will be continuing my Substack in the new year, so if you want some periodic quick reads about games, films, whatever I'm interested in, you can go to staticcanvas.substack.com and subscribe for email notifications whenever a new post goes up. Thanks a lot, love to you all, bye!